Hi everybody.
Hello, hello, hello.
Welcome. It's welcome actually. It's not welcome back. I mean, it's welcome back to the channel, but it's
this is the
welcome
new
to the new
platform.
segment, to the new platform.
Yeah.
Today you guys are seeing us on a different day. It's
Different
not a
platform,
Friday.
Different situation.
But yeah, as you guys may have read in the title, this is the segment is called MO Talks. M standing for my mother's name, Moira.
Yeah.
I call her mom though, but yes. And O standing for my name, Ofente. And talks because, well, this is a platform where we will be talking about everything. Anything under the sun.
Our faith, our walk, our encounters, things we have gone through and have learned from, things we see and what we think of them. Everything.
Literally everything.
Once in a while, you'll see Jonathan will feature Jay, will feature Dad, my husband.
Yes.
And who knows who knows, we might have few guests, who knows, we'll see how it goes, but for now, yeah, it's us, right?
And we're having hot chocolate.
Yeah, join us. Go make yourself some hot chocolate or tea or cocoa or Milo,
yeah,
or coffee. We love hot chocolate, and I still love my tea. But it's a funny weather today. It rained, it's cloudy, it's a bit chilly. It's not super cold, but enough to make me put a jersey on. So
I'm really hoodie on. Although I think I wear hoodies all the time.
Yeah.
So I think hoodies is just, it's not even a weather thing anymore.
For her.
Yeah. I think it's just like, it's a norm now.
Yeah. So let's get into today's topic.
What's today's topic, Mom?
Is do peers, your peers,
my peers,
speak to their parents?
Yes.
Do they talk to their parents?
Do you?
Do you?
Do you?
Do they? I should ask the parents out there. Do they talk to you? Yeah. Do you talk? Do you talk to your parents?
Yeah.
Do you open up to your parents?
Before I talk about other people, for me, as a child also, I do talk to my mom.
She does.
I do. It's something we've done from birth, basically. I have a very open relationship with my mom, and I talk to her about everything and anything. Although I must confess that I was not in a good place.
She went through a rough patch. She went through.
Yeah. And I closed up and I stopped talking, and that made the situation worse.
That was when she started grade 8. Yeah, she somehow from nowhere just closed up.
Yeah. Yes. So
from an open book to a shut book, like. Okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
No, I understand. I mean, yeah, it did happen. And for a relationship like ours, where she's open and she speaks and she holds nothing in or back, and she talks about everything, her emotions, how she feels when she's happy or sad, I picked it up immediately. It's not something I gradually caught on to. No. When it happened, I picked it up immediately because, if you walk with your children and you have that kind of walk where they talk to you and they're open to you and you are that close, you will know it when something different happens or takes place, and you're like, no, what's going on? So I picked it up and I quickly set her down, and I told her point blank to say, Offense, you have stopped talking, what's going on?
Yeah. Yes. I remember that time I was going through the most. I was going through the motions, and what made it worse is I stopped talking. I'm very confident that had I talked, I probably would have.
No, not probably.
Not probably.
Definitely.
I definitely would have been helped much sooner.
And it's not that she was not talking; she was talking to the wrong people. It's not like
yes.
She just stopped talking to parents.
Exactly. I was talking to
She was talking
friends.
to friends. Not that there's anything wrong talking to your
No.
friends, but yeah, we'll get to that point soon enough.
So yeah, that's and then what I realized then is that like when you're in that situation, it's you feel like it's hard to open up again because then it's like it really it felt for me personally it felt like really hard to open up again because then I was like, I haven't
Where do I
spoken to
start?
anybody about this. Where do I start?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's so much I haven't talked to you about. There's so much I've been feeling, and
Then you start feeling, I remember she started feeling guilty.
Yeah.
And the whole thing was not for her, was not to make her feel guilty. It was just to make her aware that something has changed. And if you are not careful, it's gonna go the wrong way. If you don't caught on it quick enough, unfortunately, nothing good can come out of it. When you stop walking with your parents, when you stop talking to your parents, when you stop opening up to your parents, nothing good can come out of it. Absolutely nothing. And you might be out there feeling, but I don't have parents. But trust me when I say there's someone God has put in your life who represents a parent, so it might not be your biological mom and dad, but there's someone God has put in your life who represents a parent. And if you stop working with those people or that person, sooner or later, things are just not going to go well. Things just begin to go south, And she saw that for herself because I didn't pin her down and say, talk! No. No, we didn't do that. It was just to enlighten her to say, you might not be aware of it or you are aware of it, but something is changing. Something has changed. You've stopped opening up. You've stopped talking. Look at it. Just look at it. And we'll give her space to breathe, for her to look at it herself and to see it. And she could actually come back, isn't it? And say, yes, it's true. I realized it. I have actually stopped talking, because even her, she can say it. It's not like one comes to a place where say, I'm not gonna talk. It just happens.
Yeah.
You find yourself somehow going astray from the way you've been walking and drifting away from it.
Yeah.
But many times it's because of the friends
people you
and
are
the people
talking
you
to.
started working with
Yeah.
in that time. And then all of a sudden,
because then you find that like sometimes you find that then the advice you get from your friends is almost an advice you want to hear, right?
Yeah.
And you kind of, as a child, you kind of know, like sometimes when you're going through something, like for example, like you like a sweet, you know that your mom's gonna say don't eat the sweet, right? But your friend is gonna be like, Chomi, it's fine, just take it. I mean, it's just the sweet, it's one sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then sometimes it's also like that thing to say, I prefer my friend's advice over my mom's advice. Then I just, from one situation, all of a sudden you just stop talking because you're talking and you're listening to someone else's advice rather than someone who you should be listening to.
And I like what she's saying. They're busy feeding you what you want to hear and not what you should hear, and what will save you and what will help you and what will direct you into the right path. And she did go through that. And, and while it was not like drastic things, if not caught on early enough, it become drastic.
Yeah. Eish.
The repercussions of it are not good. Because then she was going through emotions. She was going through the thing of, friends at school, it was a lot.
Yeah,
it was a lot.
It was
a lot.
It was a bit of a very chaotic time.
Because she went through a transition of going from the school she thought she was gonna remain for the rest of her high school, and then she had to switch schools, and now you are new at high school and you're coming into a school where kids have been there for years and they've created cliques and groups and and now you are coming in as an outsider and you feel all these emotions and you have to find your feet, find your place, find your
And you
find
also, and it's not
friends.
only that, like you also see how other people that also get into the school get quickly accepted by
Yeah,
other people, and
yeah.
you're not being accepted. It's like,
and knowing her personality now, offense, she'll tell you guys herself if you don't already know, she's an extrovert, she's not an introvert
no.
at all. She's a butterfly, she's a social butterfly. She's one of those kids where it's very easy for her to make friends, and she's got a problem when it's not easy, when she's trying and it's not happening. She's got a big problem with that. Really, it affects her because she can walk into the room and she'll walk out with a friend or two. She's not that child who, from small, I mean, there were times where we are in Postnet or in, you know,
A restaurant.
at a restaurant or at a shop buying things, and if there's a child in that shop, Fenza will connect with the child like that. She'll be the one to initiate the first move. She'll be the one to say, "This, my name is Ofenza, what is your name?" She'll even offer her toy or whatever. She'll do whatever it takes to make friends with that person. And by the time we finish what we're doing and we tell her, "Ofenza, it's time to go," her concern will be, "But what about my friend?" And I'm like, I'm sure your friend will be fine because just like you, she came with parents.
Yeah.
So, and soon they're gonna go home. So we also need to go home. So making friends has never been an issue for her. So when she's trying to make friends and it's not quite going the way she desires it to go, somehow there's a resistance, she would have a big problem with that. So she went through that in high school, and she wouldn't stop trying. So sometimes, even if you tried to say, "Just give it time," it was not comforting enough.
I felt like I gave it a lot of time. Personally, I think me saying to you, for example, "Let's hang out," and you're like, "Maybe next week," and I give you until next week, and you're still saying no, I feel like I'm giving you enough time. Personally. But also I think I also had I had a perception of friendship. And my perception of friendship was a bit distorted. Okay, not a bit, it was very distorted actually.
Yeah.
And majority of the friends I made, of which some point along high school, I ended up finding
She did end up
few
finding
friends that
friends which
I genuinely connected with.
Yeah.
But in the
But
beginning,
it took a while.
it took a
At some point, I had to sit down with her and say, "Can we make a list? Because this is not good for you." We had to make a list to say, "Offense, I'm gonna give you a homework. Just write for me list of your friends, and we'll talk later." The list was long. It was long. We're not talking 5.
No, it was very long.
It was long.
It was very
And I had to take her through every person to say,
Why?
how do you look at them?
Why?
And then she'll say friend, and I say why. And by the time we were done, it was down to a few people, less than 5. No.
I think it was less than 5. 5 minutes.
Yeah, which was powerful. And she still had to walk and see, if it's any worth it also still, and make a decision at the end of the day. But I had to help her because these people, like, not everyone is your friend. Just because they said hello, or once in a while they come and sit with you to have lunch, to eat lunch together, or once in a while when they're waiting for their parents, they because their best friend is gone, they come and hang around with you. So I had to help her to screen and say, "Let's look at it, but baby, because you're getting hurt. But she did. The point is, the moral of the story here, the point is, she did go through a thing where she stopped talking.
Yes.
And but it was mainly because she made friends which were not of good influence. So then you end up mimicking what they do. You end up doing things the way they do them. They don't talk to your parents. Why you don't? I mean, then you become each other's.
Yeah.
You confide in each other.
And
so
it's
because
all-
you spoke to each other, you are fine.
Yeah.
You are comforted.
And also
Even though
hearing
you are
advice
both-
you want to
yeah.
hear. It's, no, don't worry about it. It's okay. And you're like, yeah, Vele, it's fine. Is it though?
Yeah, you know.
Was it? No, it wasn't fine.
You know.
So
And but I had to sit down with her. There's a few things, some things, you know, I mean, there's a few things she went through, not just regarding friends, also emotionally. There's things she went through, and but again, it all boils down to a friend, because then she'll confide to a friend, you know, and a friend will advise otherwise. And but there came a time where I sat her down and said, Ofense, I don't think I like what I see. Maybe you haven't seen it yet, but go look at 1, 2, 3. You're no longer talking, you're no longer opening up. If anything, you're closing up more and more and more. And you know what's sad about children who don't talk to their parents? The first sign for me, when I noticed, the first sign was they become withdrawn.
and I'm not a withdrawn child.
And she's not. She's
So-
far from it. So they become
Maybe
withdrawn.
if it was like a case of I'm a shy child.
She's
by
not
nature.
shy. She's not. She's out there.
Maybe.
You almost wanna
Mara.
rein her in. She's out there. So she became withdrawn. That was the first sign. No, I love you like that. She became withdrawn. That was the first sign for me. And I was so concerned. I said, Lord, what's happening with the Fencer? This is not the Fencer I know. You know, and she started spending more and more time in her bedroom. That was even worse, because I don't believe in that. My kids knows that if you're upset, you come where we are, you sit with us, we will help you, we'll comfort you, we'll deal with whatever's making you upset. You don't go to your room and close the door. I don't believe in do not disturb signs on the doors. Bedrooms are for sleeping, not for sulking, not for crying, not for sending a message that I don't want to talk to you. That's our belief here at home.
Yeah.
So so she started spending more and more time in her bedroom.
And it's not that I'd be doing anything.
No,
I'm just chilling there.
no.
I was like, let me
And
just
every
sit
time,
there.
and what I thank God for was I never entertained it. I think she was so mad at me.
Yeah.
I never entertained
At
it.
that
I'll
time.
get her out of it. I'll be like,
I'd be like-
Jonathan, I'll be like, Offense, get out of that room. And I'll get her out to say, come and sit where we are. You do what we're doing, or you don't even have to do what we're doing, but you get out of your room. And you know, until
That's
she
a bit
got
of
it eventually. Yeah.
And-
She wouldn't be very happy with me, but I never left her to herself. The point is, I didn't leave her to herself. And she started talking. The fact that she was not opening up, and the opening up I'm talking about is, this is the child who comes and say, oh, there's this boy who made a pass at me at school. Or, oh, there was this cute boy, mom, you know?
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's how open Offense has always been.
Yes, it's
Or there'll be
true.
like a boy he liked, like, oh, mom, oh my goodness, until it fades away. You know, not that there was anything, the boy did anything. The boy just passed, and Offense thought, wow, you know?
Okay, mom.
Yeah, but that's how open she's been. Or
Yes.
someone would be ugly or mean, she'll come home and say, you know what,
Did
I had
you hear
I had
this
a bad day at school today. It didn't quite go well. Or even with the subject, oh, today I didn't do well in this, or I thought I prepared, and you know, she would cry. We'll comfort her, we'll walk with her in things, we'll, you know, about a whole lot of things. And some things, obviously, even family wise and personal wise, Offense has always been open, you know,
Yeah.
to say this hurts, or this makes me feel like this, or when you do it like this, it makes me feel like this, or when this goes this way, I feel like this. She's always been an open child about where she is emotionally. And so I'm not just talking about bubbly, you know, she's a bubbly child. So even when she closed up in that area, she stopped being bubbly. Now imagine, you know your child to be bubbly, and all of a sudden that just I was like, what? wrong with you? I remember half the time I'll be asking, what is wrong? I think,
like,
I
nothing.
think that was the theme of the day every day.
Yeah,
like,
it was the question
and
of the day.
what
And
is
mom
wrong?
would get so, like, it would frustrate her because I'm saying nothing and
And I'll be
there's
like,
something
and I'll tell
wrong.
her, no, it's
And she'll be
something.
like,
Maybe say I don't want to talk about it. I used to say that to her. Say,
maybe
just
say I don't know.
Maybe
Say I don't know.
Mom, I don't want to talk about it, or I don't know really what's bothering me, but don't say nothing.
Yeah.
Just say that.
Yeah.
I also do feel I'm different, or I also do feel I'm behaving a certain way, and I'm trying to put my finger on it, or I know but I'm not ready to talk about it, but don't say nothing, you know. And that's what I thank God for, that I never left her to herself. And yeah, which not long after that she actually came out. She, because we made it a point of, well, I made it a point of her.
Yeah, dad would be like,
because I'm here at home with her. She was
you know, dad sometimes would be like, hey, babe, give her time.
Yeah,
Mom is like,
yeah.
no, you're not talking.
Yeah, dad would be like, you know, just give it time, just
She's
which I would,
Yeah.
I'll still give her space, but then a few days later I'll come back, I'll be like, Offense, do you want to talk? And eventually she opened up. There were things she came out and opened up about, to say, you know, it's true, I stopped talking, I did look at my life, it's true what mom and dad are saying, I did stop talking. And it all boiled down to wrong friends. All of it. It was summed up to wrong friends. And you know, and what was beautiful was the fact that we allowed her to assess her own life.
Yeah.
We gave her nuggets, we gave her things to look at, and we said, go look at it. If we are wrong, you can come back and tell us we are wrong. Maybe we're not seeing well. Maybe there's something wrong with our seeing, our eyes, our spiritual eyes. But she looked at her own life, and she did come back and say, no, it's true, Mom and Dad, I did stop talking. But the truth is,
I remember there were so many times to sit around the table and talk after dinner.
Yeah, we had, but that's a thing. That's what, you know, sometimes we want what other moms, parents and children have. We admire their relationship, but we are not willing to invest in it.
There.
We are not willing to put in the work. Trust me, it doesn't come easy. It's something you need to work hard for. It's something you need to stand for. It's something you need to put your feet down for even. It's something you need to, you can't just let things slide, yet you're expecting a certain result, you know. And that's what we did with Offense, and we walked with her in love. We were not forceful, we were not, but we walked with her. We didn't leave her to herself, honestly. We would allow her to breathe.
Yeah.
And we'll still come back and say, where are you? Do you want to talk? If she said, we will leave her. And we'll come back. Do you want to talk? And she will come back. What I admired about her is when she was ready to talk, she came and said, every time I'm ready to talk.
Yeah. And one of the ways I knew I wasn't ready to talk, when I used to deflect the actual, like, you know, when you like try and make it about something else, but it's not what it is.
Yeah.
Like, for example, like, you're hurt because your friend said, I don't want to be friends with you anymore. And then you're like, oh no, you know, I just had a bad day at school, you know, I didn't really like what my teacher said. But your teacher didn't say anything.
Exactly.
Or like, what your teacher said didn't really bother you because it's not even something to like wallow over. But like, you deflecting it so you don't actually touch what the issue was. And I remember I used to do that before I actually really opened up. And then when I got to a place where I opened up, I realized that I should have probably just done this the whole
because many times when I look back, she always said she was scared what we would say or think, or, you know, and every time we will assure her that, we'll reassure her that, you know what, you're not gonna get in trouble, you know. If anything, you've got nothing to fear. If anything, you should know that we love you, and we're doing this because we care about you and we want you to be well, you know. And when she did come to that point in her life, in her own heart, in her own mind, by herself, she then decided, okay, and she opened up, she spoke, and some things were deep. We can't talk about it. I'm sure one day when she's comfortable, we'll go into them when she's comfortable, because they're personal matters. You know, it was deep things that can affect a child, and rightfully so, and justifiably so. And but the joy to see her open up about and choose to be vulnerable and trust us with her heart, and trust us enough that she won't get in trouble to say those things to us, to say, this is how this makes me feel, this is where I am, this is what I'm dealing with, this is what I'm facing. Like I said, there were deep things and personal things and things that if we share them with you, which one day we will, it's justifiable, you know. And but I think for her, when she finally opened up and realized what we've been saying all along is really what we meant to say, there's nothing under the sun you can tell us that will make us less proud of you. There's nothing under the sun that you can tell us that will make us somehow feel you are bad, or, you know, for us, you are our daughter and we love you and we're proud of you. We just want to walk with you and stand with you and help you make the right decisions and choices in life with what you are facing and what you're dealing with, because we know, you know. And yeah, and I think when she realized that, wow, which is something she knew all along, because we raised her that way.
Yeah.
But there comes a time where the enemy lies to you when you face a certain situation in your life, to say, this one your parents won't understand. Or this one, don't tell your parents.
Or like, it's funny. It's like, you see, this is where the talking to your friends thing, like, also, like, counts in when you, like, try to, like, express what you're going through.
Yeah.
Like, those personal matters, those deep matters. And they're, like, they either not understanding the way in which you hoped they would, or they're brushing it off and belittling it. And then you feel, okay, no one understands.
No one will understand.
And
but
then,
exactly. Sorry, you were saying.
No. I was just saying that's like also where then the enemy catches. That you caught me to say, you know what?
You see,
if
they
can't understand, what makes you think your parents are going to understand? What makes you think your teachers are going to understand? What makes you think anybody's going to understand?
Exactly.
You're in this alone.
Exactly.
And yeah. So when I realized that, no, they do understand.
And we've always understood.
And they've always understood. It's like, oh, okay, you were wrong.
Yeah.
Why did I listen?
Then you look at all the months that has passed where you've gone through this thing on your own, and you wish, you know. But we comforted her, we held her, and from there we worked, and it has been a joy, you know, to be able to bring her out of that, where she can walk again the way she knows how, where she opens up and where she talks. And now she's at a place where she knows there's nothing really under the sun she cannot talk to us about. And the one thing we advise there, which I want to give out there to the young people, is, I know you love your friends. I know you believe in your friends. I know you think they're the best thing ever under the sun. But we've always told our daughter that, offensive, at the end of the day, your friends are just the same age as you, if not younger, or just a little, maybe a year older or something. They're not in any place to be able to give you a sound advice.
Besides, go talk to you.
The best advice a friend can give you, and there are few friends who can do that. I always tell friends, and I always advise her to be that kind of a friend, is the best advice a friend can give. Then you know you've got a good friend. If that friend can tell you, go talk to your parents, then you've got a good friend in your hands. But if that friend decide to take matter into their own hands and advise you, not knowing what you are talking about, they have no clue what you are talking. They've never experienced it, or maybe they have a little bit, but they are not in any. They don't have any capacity to advise you, or to counsel you, or to guide you. Both of you need guidance, both of you and your friends. So you're both in a place of need, both of you. So what makes you think you can advise each other? What makes you think you can, the best advice? So yeah, we always told her that if you have a friend whom you will cry to and they will say to you, thank you for talking to me, and they give you a hug, and then after that they say, my friend, I can't help you. Go talk to your parents, and if you don't, I'll call them and tell them. That's the best friend.
Yeah.
You've got a good friend in your hands, you know. But how many do that? Many, they will give you the advice they want to hear when they're in that situation. That's why a friend can leave you tomorrow and abandon you if they go through what you went through and you don't give them what they told you. They'll say, but when you were going through this, I told you this, and today you are telling me this? Why? They tell you what they want you tomorrow to tell them. To say, let's make a silly example. You stole your mother's credit card, and you tell your friend, yo, I took my mom's credit card out of her bag and I used it, and you know, I don't know how to put it back. I don't know, I have it with me, I haven't put it back, I don't know how to put it back.
And she's already looking for it.
And she's already looking for it. I forgot about it. It's been in my bag, I forgot about it. A wrong friend will say to you, Joe, if you know what, I'll leave it on the table and let it appear like a miracle. Like boom, out of nowhere, and pretend together with the rest of everybody to say, wow, mom, what a miracle. And when the mother says, wow, how did it get here? Then I also act like I have no clue. You see, because they want you next time to be able to stand with them that way. I stood with you in the wrong, I covered you, I protected you, I didn't sell you out. They call it snitch. I didn't snitch. Right, Fence? Don't they call it snitch? So tomorrow you owe me. Tomorrow when I'm going through something, you're supposed to stand with me. When my parents come at me and they call you to ask you, you're supposed to cover me.
Yeah, like see,
you know?
Yeah.
So those are not good friends. You run away from friends like that. They're not friends. They're not good friends. Now, a right friend in a situation like that will say to you, you know what? Why would you do that?
First of all, you shouldn't have taken it.
I mean,
second
if
of
you
all,
ask your mom for what you wanted to buy, what did you want to buy? Jeans? Really? Don't you think she would have bought for you? Even if she said maybe not now, later. The point is, she was going to do it for you. So why steal a credit card? If I were you, I'll go and tell her and say, mommy, and confess and say, mom, I was naughty. I took your card. I was tempted and I took your card and I went and I bought jeans with it, and here's the slip, here's the jeans. I'm very sorry. I shouldn't have done that. May mom please forgive me. You'll be surprised. I always tell my kids, if you confess the wrong you've done, you're not going to get in trouble.
You'll get in less trouble than
you get in less trouble. And most of the time that you get in no trouble, most of the time, because you're coming out. And it's the same word God gave, was it Cain and Abel, when he said, if you do what is right, wouldn't you be accepted? You'll be accepted if you do what is right. But how many friends would advise another friend to say, go and tell your mom the truth, to say you took that card?
And that guilt eats.
It eats. That eats you up. But if you keep on that lifestyle and you keep up with that friend, there comes a time where you even stop feeling that guilt. You think it's the right way of living, you know, and life just goes south. Things get messed up. They get messy, you know. So for me, I was giving a message to the young people out there to say, check your friends. Check. It's very easy to screen people in your life to say, this one, is it a kind of a person who will tell me when I'm wrong? Is it a kind of a person who will say, no, let's lie and go there, no one will know? Or they will say, no, let's ask. If they deny us, we asked, so we don't go. If they say yes, praise the Lord, they've allowed us to go, you know. Or let's go around the corners, no one will know. What kind of friends do you have? Those friends are not good for you. The ones that says no one will know, they're the ones that causes you to stop talking to your parents at home, you know. And just something you can look at. I don't know if you can think of anything also they can look at as young people. I mean,
Yeah. But one thing I can say, like having gone through what I went through, is like even if you are at that position where the enemy is telling you you can't talk to anybody about it or no one will believe you, try by all means to talk to your parents. I'm not saying it's easy,
go
especially
against that voice.
yeah, especially when you're believing that voice. It's not very easy, but try, even if you have to sit next to your mom and kind of like, you know, or send her a letter or send a message, because that's going to invoke a conversation which is going to help you at the end of the day. You're going to like come out of that situation and you're going to come out better than what you were when you were in it. And you're going to have like the full support of your parents.
Yeah.
And if you don't have like parents, like mom had said earlier on, there are people around you that will give you sound advice, that are older than you, that have lived life, that will counsel you the right way. You know, so I think
go against that thought, she says, and she has done it. She's not telling you about things she has said. She's written me a letter. I still have it. It was not an easy letter to read, by the way. It was not. I still have it. It was not an easy letter to read. And I remember I gave that advice. I said to her, baby, if you can't talk to mommy, can you write to me? Just write and leave it on my side table. And she did. She wrote me a letter. It was not long, but straight to the point. And it it was not an easy letter to read, but I'm glad she did, because we could address what was in her heart. You know, we both sat and we cried. But we could address what was in her heart. By the end of the day, she was answered. You know, she was answered. And by the end of the day, I had a child who was able to answer that mind that said, Mom won't understand. You know, she went against that thought. She took my advice when I said, write it down. And she wrote it down. And she saw that it does yield results. So there's many ways to talk. Thank you, Offensive, for bringing up that point. If you can't verbally say it, you're so scared to say it, you can write a message. You can write a letter. You can send a WhatsApp. You can write an email. Today, there's so many things you can do. You can't say, I don't have a post box. There's so many things you can do. You can write it on your way to school. Give your mom the whole day to ponder on it. While you are at school, you can leave it in her car while you leave. When you go out the car, you can say, Mom, I wrote you something, and you say bye.
Even if you like too scared to say, put it in her handbag where you know she will
or in
see
her
it.
lunch bag where you know exactly she will see it. So there's many ways to do it. So for us, we wanted to encourage parents. If you are a child out there, I'll leave that part to Offense to encourage the young people. But if you are a parent out there whom you feel, my children have stopped talking to me, or I didn't create a culture in my home where my children can be open and speak to me. Somehow they are open to other people, but not to us. That I see they've got that relationship with friends and buddies and whoever, but not with us. Trust me, it's not too late to create that relationship with them. Now with me, I started it with them when they were small. Even with Jonathan, I do the same. When I see something is not the same, I don't leave it for tomorrow. He knows. I go to his room. I ask him, what's going on, Jonathan? Are you okay? Do you want to talk about it? When you are ready to talk about it, come tell me. I don't push them, but before the end of the day, he would have told me what's going on, and I would have advised him. I would have helped him. I would have comforted him. If prayer is needed, I would have prayed with him. You know, so same thing with Offense. She's 18. We're still doing it. And we've been doing it from when she was a baby. And yes, she went through that patch where the enemy wanted to derail her away from that, but we were able to catch it on earlier. So I want to help. I want to say to parents out there, maybe you are there and you're saying, I don't have that and I've never created that, and how do I do that now? Trust me, it's possible. Just start small. Start small. Go on ice cream trips with your kids. Just
Yeah,
say,
be more
today
invested.
I'm going for, can I take you for ice cream? You go and sit down with them. Just ask a question. Don't be the one talking all the time. Just ask the question, say, how was your day? Be willing to listen. Don't get quickly angry. Even the Bible says so, people. The Bible says don't be quick to anger.
Yeah.
Now, I want to advise parents out there, don't be quick to, you want them to open up, don't be quick to anger. Hold it. Hold it in.
And you better put a
No,
smile on your
you
face.
better,
or else
yes.
you-
You frown, they think they're in trouble. You change your look, they think it's too much, so they withhold certain information. Just that day, just order your hot chocolate, put on your makeup, have fun with them, and let them talk. You ask them, how was your day? How are things going? Let them talk. It might not happen the first day. It might not happen the first week or the first month. Don't give up. Don't give up, And also, some of them will be shocked because it's something you've never done. They might come at you with it. Not that it's correct for children to do that. To say, but where is this coming from?
Yeah.
You
But
never-
also don't stop trying
Yeah.
because of that.
So you might have to first say, I'm very sorry, my baby, that I never created this way of walking. I want to start walking with you. That's where it's coming from. I feel bad as a parent that I haven't walked this way with you, but I want to correct that. Don't make it that they are the ones wrong. Also, parents, take responsibility to say, I haven't walked that way. I haven't encouraged that kind of a walk. Take responsibility and then put right. You'll be surprised that they will trust you. They will see, oh, mommy's not out here to find fault with me. Dad is not out here to find fault with me. These people are not out here to tell me how wrong I am and how bad I am and how much I need help. They are here to say, we haven't walked the way we want to walk with our children, and we want to put right because we want to be part of your life, to know what's going on in your life, to be able to advise you and guide you where that is needed, and to be there for you emotionally, not just be there for you financially. You want 100 rand, we are there, So I want to advise. So it's possible. I want to say to the parents who've never done it, and you say, I want that with my kids. It's possible, but I like what Francis says. Don't give up. Invest. Invest. Even it might start with notes. Start writing them letters. Start writing them messages. Leave it on the side of their bed to say, Mommy loves you. If there's anything you want to talk to Mommy about, I'm here to listen. I'm here to listen. Before you start going, I'm here to listen. Then you give advice. Then you give counsel. Then you give what they need, and some of them might not receive it the first day, but don't give up. Don't give up. And maybe you've lost it, you've had it before, and you lost it, and you didn't realize when it was lost, and you just know it's gone. You can recover it. You can recover it. And here are the signs to look for. Maybe you don't know it's lost, but you don't quite know what's going on. I told you earlier the signs to look for. If your child you'll see they will start talking less. Even if they're quiet children, they will get quieter. And they become loners. They want to separate themselves from you, or they want to start being in their room the whole time. And somehow it's like lack of interest. They're no longer interested in the things that we do at home. It's like all of a sudden, look out for little signs like that. And don't take them lightly and say, teenagers. I don't believe in that talk. No, I don't believe in talking like that as a parent to say, oh, teenagers. No. The Bible says, teach them while they're young. When they grow, they want to pass. So you can't be blaming things on teenagers. I ask myself, why am I
also
missing
don't
it?
play the blame game with the kids, because then that's where children are just like, okay, no, here I can't talk, because if I talk, it's gonna be my fault. Everything. It's because get phone here. Yes, maybe it's the phone. Maga, don't blame. Listen.
It's good to listen, give an ear, but also children out there, take advice and take responsibility for your actions. Where you miss it, come clean. Just be honest and say, here, I need help. Here, I need help. I don't know how to stay away from my phone. I need help. I don't know how to make the right choices when it comes to friends. I need help. I don't know how to, stop this. I need help. Let your parents in. Just know they're coming from a good place. They want to work with you. They love you. They're not trying to find fault with you. But I don't know if you've got any last words.
Really, I just want to say to like those children, because I know it's not all like teenagers that don't talk to their parents.
There's many teenagers.
There's many teenagers that do, or that some of them may want to, and sometimes that opportunity is not there.
Yeah.
I would really just encourage them to like just talk to your parents, like even if it's you just find time with them, or you sit with them while they're working or they're cooking, and you just
put it
throw
out there.
something out
Because
there.
sometimes you wait for the right time and it never comes.
Yeah.
Because you're thinking mommy and daddy are always busy, so I'll wait until they're not busy. That time might never come.
Yeah.
So I like what she's saying. If she's cooking, just throw it out there.
Just
She'll
go.
stop. If she's busy on her computer,
laptop.
just throw it out there. She'll stop and listen to you. Trust me, she'll turn her head, stop what she's doing, and just start talking. If you're emotional and you feel I need someone to cry to, and you feel mom and dad is busy, just walk into that room and start crying.
Yeah.
Start crying. They will stop. There's no way. They love you way too much. And so please, we look forward to your comments. If you are a teenager out there and you speak to your parents, please, we want to know about it and how's that going for you. I just know it's the right thing to do. Trust me, talking is good. Even the Bible encourages it. It says confess one to another, talk, open up. Once you stop talking, it doesn't mean you're not talking, it just means you're talking to someone else who might not be giving you a right advice.
Yeah.
So it's important to talk to your parents. Looking forward to your comments. And until the next talk.
Yeah.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye. And every
Tuesday.
Tuesday. See you next week, Tuesday. Adios. Bye.